All right, today's lesson 7-9, locating fractions on number lines. You're going to go ahead and do some quick look cards with me first. And then after that, we're going to be working in your math journal on page 240. So you'll want a pencil. Go ahead and be ready. I'm going to show you the quick look cards for 2 to 3 seconds, and then we'll talk about it. Here's our first one. All right, the amount that we see that 3/4 is shaded. I want to know how much is not shaded in this one. So kind of an opposite thing that we normally do. And the correct answer would be 1/4. All right, let's look at the next one. I want to know how much is unshaded this time. The unshaded amount is 2/3. 1/3 is shaded, 2/3 is unshaded. All right, let's go on to the next one. We want to know how many parts are unshaded. All right, we have 6 equal pieces here. One of them is shaded, which means 5/6 of them are unshaded. All right, go ahead and open in your math journal to page 240, and the question says this. The whole is the distance from 0 to 1. Label 1/2 where you think it should go on the number line. Share your thinking with your partner. I'm going to be your partner today. So go ahead and look at our number line that we have up here in our math message. And it says the whole is the distance from 0 to 1. Put 1/2 where you think it should go. All right. Now I am seeing that here is 0 and here is 1. So if I'm going to do 1/2, I'm going to find right smack dab in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and label that as 1/2. How'd you do? I hope you did really well. The next part, good thing you're watching this video, says listen to your teacher for the directions for problems number 1 and 2. All right, so I want you to look at number 1. I want you to look at what you see on the number line, and I want you to remember what we learned up above. The whole is the distance from 0 to 1. Where would you put 1/2 on this number line number 1? Go ahead and do that now. And then for number 2, the whole is the distance from 0 to 1. Where would you put 1/2 on this number line for number 2? I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here for you guys to finish. Push play when you're ready to check your work. All right, for number 1, it would go halfway between 0 and 1 again. So I would go like this and label it 1/2. And then in the next one, here's 0 and 1. 1/2 goes in between. When you look at these number lines, are you able to identify what's changing? You can see that the number lines are going up higher. So if you look at the first number line in the math message, it's only going up to 2. So it's about the same length looking, but the distance between 0 and 1 is greater than it is as we get to number 1 and number 2. So 1/2 is always going to go halfway between 0 and 1. All right, now that we have labeled where 1/2 goes on each of the number lines, I want you to just watch as I go over where we would put the other kind of halves on the number line. We know that 0 is always going to represent 0 halves, and then we have 1/2. 1 whole is going to be 2 halves, and then as we go up, what would go there? How many halves would we have? We would have 3 halves. And then for 2 whole, that would be 4 halves. All right. Remember, 4 halves kind of looks like this. 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves. And if you put this one together, that's 1 whole. And this one together, that's 1 whole. And these together, that's 2. So see how we have 4 halves? It's the same thing as right here, what we're seeing. All right, same kind of thing for number 1. We would have 0 halves, 1 half, 2 halves, and then 3 halves, and 4 halves, and halfway in between 2 and 3 is going to be 5 halves, and then 3 whole would be 6 halves. That's all I'm going to show you right now because I think that gives you a good idea of what happens when we get past 1. We're going to go ahead and open up our math journals to page 241. And you're going to want to turn that to the side like I've done here. And we are going to be working on number lines that start at 0 and end at 1 whole. They go on and on and on, but we're really just going to glance at that part. So you'll see all of them except for the last one, they go from 0 to 1. So what we want to do is we want to put the partition. Partition means to divide up each number line to locate and then label the given fraction. So it says hint on some number lines there's more than 1 whole. They're talking about this one down here. So if you look at number 1 and you have 1/3, the denominator is going to show you how many equal parts we want to have. And this isn't the number of tick numbers. This is the number of like spaces between tick numbers. So when we're talking about thirds, we want to take this number line and divide it up into 3 equal pieces. So I'm going to do a section here and one here. And remember way back, I don't know, over a week ago, we talked about if you don't like what it looks like, erase it and try it again. Don't go with it. Just erase it and fix it. Now, we have, as you can see, I'm going to put it in blue. You just leave it. But see how we have 1 chunk, 2 chunks, 3 chunks? So we know that that's divided up into 3 equal sections. I'm going to take that away real quick. And I know that the 0 is the same as 0/3. I know that this one right here is going to be 1/3. This one will be 2/3. And this 1 whole will be 3/3. So do you see how we have divided up each number line with the tick marks and then we have labeled them? We want to label the given fraction. So for this one, we're just going to be labeling 1/3. So you don't really need to worry about labeling each of them. Just really focus on the fraction that's listed here. So for the next one, we're going to do the tick marks again, but we're not going to label every single one of the fractions. We're just going to label the fraction that they give us. So here's the 1/3. We want to do 2/6. So that means that we need to divide up our number line into 6 equal sections. So I'm going to first divide it up into 3 sections. And then I'm going to divide each of those in half. And if I look at this, I should have 6 equal sections. And when I'm talking about that, remember I'm talking about from here to here, and here to here, and here, and here, and here, and here. Is that 6? It looks like it. I'm going to get rid of those. And then I need to figure out where 2/6 is going to go. So at 0, I know that that's 0/6. The next tick mark number is 1/6. So this one right here must be 2/6. Go ahead and label that now. All right, 2 more and then a tricky one. So we have, for number 3, 3/4. The denominator tells us the number of sections we need to have. So we know we need to have 4 equal sections. I always say divide it in half. If you can divide 4 in half and it works, then you can do that. So divide it in half. Divide each of those halves in half. And then where would 3/4 go? You're going to count through the tick marks and figure out where 3/4 would go. I'm not going to label that one. You're on your own for that one. All right, number 4, 6/8. So we need to divide it into 8 sections. Can 8 be split in half evenly? Yes. So I'm going to split in half, and then I have 2 sections. I'm going to split each of those in half. And now I have 4 sections. I need 8, so I'm going to split each of those in half. And now I need to figure out where 6/8 is going to go. Well, I know that halfway through is going to be the same as 4/8. So I can use that information to figure out where 6/8 might go. Go ahead and label that now. All right. Number 5 can be tricky, but the same thing is true. Do you see this 3 right here on the bottom? That means between each of the holes, 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, we need to divide them up into 3 sections. So let's go ahead and do that now. So see how that's divided into 3 equal sections? And this one, and this one. Now, when you're counting through, remember, the 0 is going to be 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3, and we made it 8/3. All right, I'm going to go up above and I'm going to show you that 3/4 is going to go up here. And then the other one we had, 6/8, is going to go right here. All right, I hope that these pages went smoothly for you today. I don't have a math box page for you assigned for you today because we've been working really, really hard. And so you're welcome to do any of those problems on page 242, but none of them are required today. What is required is the next thing that I have for you, and that is the home link. Thank you guys for doing such a great job with completing these and uploading these each day. You're going to be doing the thing where you partition the holes, just like we did on that last page, and then you're going to locate and label the given fractions. So partition the whole number line up, but then only label where 1/2, 1/4, 2/3, and 5/6 would go. And then this bottom one is 3/2. So try that one. That one's a little bit trickier. It's like the last one that we did on the last page. And then it says, tell someone at home how you partitioned your number lines. So how did you know how to do it? What was your process? Kind of like how I taught you, you get to teach them. That's it for our math lesson today. I hope it goes smoothly for you. Tomorrow is a catch-up day on math. And if you are going to do some IXL tomorrow, look for any of the problems that have to do with something about fractions and number lines. Those would be great ones to do. I'll have Mrs. Park put some IXL information in the morning message for you guys inside Google Classroom. Have a great day. Bye.